Dear students, we will learn a new module today, transfer of property. See, transfer of property is an important concept in Sale of Goods Act. With the transfer of property, we are transferring the ownership. So we will explain this module with the transfer of property. What all the things we have to consider, what are the consequences, what are the risks involved, all that will be covered in this module. Now, three stages with transfer of property. One is transfer of property in the goods. When you buy something from a shop, it's a cash purchase. Imagine it's a cash purchase. You will get the item in your hand so that you're getting the goods. Second is transfer of possession of goods. You're getting the actual ownership. Third is passing the risk. Once I bought something, imagine if I bought a mobile phone. The next moment, if it will fall from my hand and I broke that, then the risk is with me because I am the owner. Shopkeeper is not the owner. He has already sold it to me and I got the possession of goods. So three things. One is transfer of property. Second is transfer of goods. And third is with the ownership, we will get the transfer the risk also. Now, significance of transfer of ownership. One is risk passes with ownership. Anything, the next moment you purchase that, somebody has stolen it from you also, you will lose the item. There is a case decision, Danby Hamilton and Company Limited versus Barden. So here in this case, Danby Hamilton and Company purchased 30 tons of apple juice from Barden, Mr. Barden. What happened? He purchased. So the purchase happened. Ownership is transferred. So Barden crushed the apples and kept that in 30 containers and kept the apple juice ready for delivery. So Danby Hamilton and Company, they have not bothered to collect it from the Mr. Barden. So what happened? Barden kept it ready because he got the payment. He kept it ready. Here what happened is, Danby Hamilton, after a few days, they are asking for that item to be delivered. By the time Mr. Barden realized that it will be already fermented and it will not be good to use. So they refused to deliver the item. Then they filed a case, but the court held that Danby Hamilton and Company has to bear the loss because they bought the item and it's their duty to get the item delivered on time. So this is an important case decision. See, risk passes with the ownership. So after paying the purchase price, so if the item is destroyed, then the buyer has to bear the risk. So that risk is with the buyer only, not with the seller. Now, second is suit for price. Imagine the buyer is not making the payment. So that meaning the seller has got the right to ask for the price or file the case for price. Next is action against third parties. If goods are damaged by third parties, owner can only take an action. See, if bought an item and they are sending it. See, I bought a TV set and I'm sending it to another state. So I'm using a courier service or postal department. Then the TV is damaged by the time it was delivered. So that meaning only the owner can take the action, not the seller, because ownership is already passed on. Now, insolvency of the seller. If the seller becomes insolvent and property has passed to the buyer. So here the case is insolvency of the seller. Seller is becoming insolvent, but the property has already passed to the buyer. The buyer is the owner and he can recover goods from official receiver or assignee. When a person is declared insolvent, the official receiver will take care of all the item. So that is the custody of official receiver. But here, we have to remember that property has passed to the buyer. He has made the payment. So buyer got every right to collect that item from the official receiver, though the seller is insolvent. Now, insolvency of the buyer. If the opposite happens. Earlier case was seller is insolvent, now the buyer is insolvent. If the buyer becomes insolvent before he pays for the goods, he has not paid for that item. The seller, in the absence of lien. Lien, you know that what is the lien? Lien meaning the authority of the seller or the right of the seller to retain the item till he will get the payment. So over the goods, see if seller is not having a lien on the goods, he must return them to the official receiver or assignee. Then seller can claim a rateable dividend for the price of the goods. Because when the buyer is insolvent, the same procedure will happen. What is the procedure? Buyer's goods, official receiver will take custody. Then seller has to approach the official receiver with his claim and he has got a right to collect rateable dividend. He will not get the actual price, because when a person is declaring insolvent, his assets are not sufficient to pay the liabilities. So the full amount they will not get, only a rateable dividend they will get. Now, sale by non-owners. So if sale by non-owners, if I'm not an owner but I'm selling something, there are situations where you can sell even if you are not an owner. So these are what I'm going to explain now. So the condition is nemo dat qui non habet. That meaning no one can give that which one has not got. If you want to sell something, the ownership should rest with you. Then only you can transfer the ownership. So this is an important thing. Sale by non-owners, it will happen in certain situations. See, for example, a sales representative is selling something. So one company, air conditioner, his sales representative is coming and selling something. He is a non-owner, but he got the right to do that. There are situations, but you have to see that what are the pros and consequences for that. No, but there are certain exceptions to this rule. We have seen that only owners can transfer the ownership. But I told you there are situations where non-owners will also sell the item. So where are the persons who will sell being non-owners? One is sale by a person, not the owner, or title by estoppel. See, I want to sell my car. It's not my car. It's my husband's car. Imagine if my husband's car. I am telling ownership is with him. So, but the buyer is approaching. In the presence of my husband, I am telling that, see, this car belongs to me. I am the owner. He is not denying the fact. That meaning he is silent, meaning he is giving a green signal to that. Though I am not the owner, but he is not denying the fact. That meaning I have the right to sell that. Buyer will accept that. Buyer will get the actual ownership, because in the presence of buyer, this conversation happened and he has not denied the fact. That meaning I am getting the right to sell. Even if buyer will trust my word and buy that, he will get the actual ownership. Now, sale by a mercantile agent. That meaning sales by sales representatives. Most of the cases when we buy consumer durables or expensive items, so the representatives will reach out to the customers. Even if it's an insurance product, financial intermediaries, anything, they will come and reach the customer and they will sell the product. So they are not owners, but they can sell that. They got the right. Now, sale by a joint owner. If you are selling joint owner, meaning more than one owner will be there for that. So even if 2-3 owners are there, so they have no objection one person dealing with the buyer. So then if joint owners are selling something, even if one person is dealing with the buyer, it is as equivalent as all the joint owners agree to that and they're transferring the ownership to the buyer once the formalities are completed. Now, sale by a person in possession under a voidable contract. See, in the case of voidable contract, consent of the seller is obtained by fraud or any threatening or anything like that. So in that case, sale by a non-owner is possible. But if it's proved in the court that sale is not valid, then the contract will become void. Next is sale by an unpaid seller. Sale by an unpaid seller, we have learned that, see, when some goods are of perishable nature, he cannot wait for that buyer to make the payment or the court to decide who has to make the payment. Sale by a non-owner is possible. That also is a valid sale. Now, exceptions in other acts. Sale by non-owners, some other acts in our country also is giving green signal to that. One is sale by finder of lost goods. If a finder of lost goods, if you found somebody's item on the road, not able to find the actual owner, he got the right to sell that item as a non-owner. Next is sale by pawnee or pledgee. Imagine I am pledging my gold ornaments with a goldsmith. I am not able to recollect that. I am not able to repay the debt. He will sell that and he will recollect that money, though he is not the owner. He is non-owner. Then sale by official receiver or assignee. When a person is becoming insolvent, all the assets, the official receiver or the assignee, as per the court direction, they will sell that, though they are not owners. Next is execution sale. That is, officers of courts can sell goods and convey title to the buyer. The property auctioned by the court, they are not owners, but they got the right. The officer in charge got the right to transfer that ownership, though he is not the owner. Next, holder in due course holds a better title. This is true in the case of negotiable instruments, because holder in due course of a negotiable instrument, he gets a better title. So then he is also having the right to that instrument. This is what I wanted to explain in this module. Happy learning. Thank you.